Chicago police calling all cars. Attention all cars. Broadcast 35. All cars stand by. Federal agents are staking out on John Dillinger. That's all.
Here's a message for the motorist who does not feel that his car is performing as well as it should. It may sputter and jerk at starting. It may buck when you step down hard on the accelerator. It may be logy on the hill. Now, it is possible that you may need the services of a mechanic. But before you consult him, make this test. Fill your tank with Rio Grande cracked with tetraethyl, the dependable performance of which is responsible for its demand by police and fire departments. Then put your car through its paces. You may be surprised to find out that the fault has been the gasoline you've been using and not the mechanical condition of your car. Rio Grande Cracked will bring out the best in your car. If it will not perform with Rio Grande Cracked, we suggest that you take it at once to a reputable mechanic. But make the above test first. You may save money and also discover the qualities of Rio Grande Cracked gasoline. This time of year, you should be particularly careful about lubrication. Bearings and other moving parts are expensive, and it requires dependable oil to protect them. Be certain by using either Sinclair, Pennsylvania, or Sinclair Opaline motor oil. These oils have longer life because they are extra refined. Also, you are guarded against substitution because these famous oils are sold only in patented, extra-measure, tamper-proof cans. Drain and fill your crankcase with either Sinclair, Pennsylvania, or Sinclair Opaline at a cost no more than bulk oil. And now, Chief James E. Davis of the Los Angeles Police Department has a message for you. Good evening, Chief Davis.
Good evening, friends. Just 4 months ago, it was my privilege to bring to you from Tucson, our sister city of the Southwest, a dramatization of the excellent police work of Chief Wallard and his men in capturing the Dillinger gang. On that occasion, I remarked that the next time Dillinger met an officer of the law, that officer might shoot first and talk afterwards. That is exactly what happened in Chicago just 72 hours ago at this time. Tonight, I wish to express not only for myself and my brother officers, but for the people of the Southwest, our admiration and gratitude to the police officers and federal investigators under Melvin Purvis, who Sunday night rid the nation of its public enemy number one. And in this radio recreation of the Dillinger saga, to salute every peace officer who risked his life in the long battle to crush the Dillinger mob.
September 26, 1933. Under a hail of machine gun bullets, Charles Makeley, Harry Pierpont, and Russell Clark, accompanied by 7 other convicts, successfully escaped from the Indiana State Penitentiary. As the 10 desperate criminals disappear into the mists of early morning, all Indiana awakens to a reign of terror. A few days later in Lima, Ohio.
You the sheriff?
Yeah?
You holding John Dillinger here?
Yeah?
We've come to get him.
Who are you?
Officers from Michigan City, Indiana. He's wanted there.
You'll have to show me your credentials.
Here's our credentials.
Terror spreads throughout the Middle West. Hysterical fear mounts. Not since the days when Jesse James rode the prairies have respectable citizens lived in mortal dread of ruthless outlaws. Dillinger is loose.
Indianapolis, $21,000 taken from the Massachusetts Avenue Bank.
New Carlisle, Ohio.
Bandits take $53,000 from New Carlisle Bank in daring daylight robbery.
Carroll, Pennsylvania.
Hold up at Faro Bank. Lost $24,000.
Daleville, Indiana.
Hold up and lost $3,500.
Mount Pelier, Indiana. $12,000 falls from the Mount Pelier Bank. Racine, Wisconsin. Hold up of the American Bank and Trust Company. Lost $27,000. Greencastle, Indiana.
$74,000 bank robbery.
Such is the list of crimes attributed to the Dillinger mob in their 2.5 months of gun-mad freedom, when they ride the plains of the Middle West like avenging scourges of evil. Careful traps set for them are laughed away in a hail of bullets from the gangsters' guns, which claimed the lives of Police Sergeant W.T. Shanley of Chicago and Indiana State Patrolman Eugene Teague. Outraged public opinion is demanding the lives of these mad messengers of doom, when, like a screaming flock of harpies, they descend on East Chicago, Indiana in early January. Each with the latest model submachine gun hooked under his arm, Dillinger, Makeley, Pierpont, and Clark burst into the First National Bank of East Chicago.
Those men have got guns.
This is a stick-up. Everybody stand still.
Now, look here, my good man.
Stand still, I said. Clark.
Yes, John.
Keep these people covered.
Right.
Charlie and I'll go through the tills. I'll take everything in this place in less than 3 minutes. Come on, Charlie.
Oh, look, there's a policeman.
Where?
Outside. He sees something wrong. He's coming in.
Look out, John! Here comes the cop!
Hey, what's going on in here? Oh! That's what's going on, copper. Why didn't you tell me there was a bull coming in, Harry?
I didn't see him.
Better keep your eyes open in the future. It's healthier.
Got all the stuff, John?
Yeah, everything that was loose. Let's get out of here.
Okay.
All right, you folks, just stay where you are. Unless you want to dose a lead poison like this copper's got.
With 3 policemen murders to the mob's credit, federal officers combined forces with local and state police. Roads are blocked. The militia is turned out. Society prepares to do battle against its enemies. But as suddenly as it began, the reign of terror ends. Peace once more descends on the Middle West. The shattered nerves of farmer, merchant, and banker gradually return to normal. Dillinger seems to have disappeared from the face of the earth. A pale desert moon casts its transparent coverlet over the jagged crest of Mount Lemmon. From a sandy wash, a coyote howls at the silent squaw that broods above him, thrusting its spiny arms toward the star-speckled velvet dome overhead. Across this scene of beautiful desolation comes a discordant note, a tinny popular song, played by a 3-piece orchestra in a desert roadhouse. The place is a few miles from Tucson, Arizona. It is the night of January 24th, 1934. A couple of traveling salesmen at the bar scrape up an acquaintance with a drunken gentleman from Chicago who claims he's a racketeer. The 2 salesmen, kidding him, claim that they are safecrackers. Taking them at face value, the gentleman from Chicago invites them to go to his house for a drink.
Sure, things got a little hot back east, so I came out here with a couple of pals to let cool it off.
You figuring any stick-ups around here?
No, are you?
You never can tell.
You're a damn fool to try it.
Why?
Say, there are only 2 roads out of Arizona. And every Indian on the reservation knows the country better than you do. You can never make a getaway.
Yeah, maybe you're right.
Hey, I got some new equipment here. Like to see it?
Yeah, sure.
Just a minute till I open up this drill.
Say, will you look at that?
Yeah. It's the real thing, all right.
It is the new super caliber machine gun. Takes a 35.1.
Gee, that's quite a weapon, isn't it?
Weapon? I'll say it is. This baby's dynamite. Rip a hole in you big enough to drive a truck through.
Well, I think we better be getting to bed. It's pretty late.
What's the hurry? Charlie will be in soon.
Who's Charlie?
He's my partner. You ought to see him handle a sawed-off shotgun.
No, I think we better go to bed. Glad to have met you, pal.
Yeah, sure. Oh, so long.
So long. Well, I'll be a lot of expensive, Alice.
Listen, Harry, that guy's the real thing. He isn't kidding.
You're selling me?
Listen, I think we better report him to the police.
Yeah, but that's taking a chance. If he isn't somebody they're looking for, he might put us on the spot.
Yeah, if he is, and he wakes up tomorrow morning and remembers what he told us, he might put us on the spot anyway.
Maybe you're right, Harry. Let's report him to the police right now.
Chief Wallard of the Tucson Police Force recognizes the frightened salesman's description of the loquacious gunman as Clark, a member of the Dillinger gang, and immediately sends officers J. Smith and Dallas Ford to stake out his house on 2nd Avenue. After a little wait, a man leaves the house, is arrested, brought into the chief's office, and identified as Charlie Maitri. Realizing now for certain that he's on the trail of the Dillinger mob, Chief Wallard sends officers Ford, Sherman, and Iman to watch for several hours, parked near the house, and no one appears. Then Sherman resolves on a bold plan and approaches the house.
What is it?
Does Mr. Clark live here?
Yes.
Well, I got a special delivery letter for him.
Well, give it to me. I'll give it to
No,
him.
I'm sorry. I'll have to deliver it to him myself in person.
Well, you can't.
Don't close that door on me.
So get your foot out of there.
Open up there. Come on, boys.
Who wants it to blow?
Keep those other guys out. I'll take care of him.
Who's that? He's got a gun.
Yeah, well, I got it by the hammer. He can't use it. Slam the door, then. Oh, come on. Break the door in. Didn't know you were making such a big guy, did you, Copper? I'll finish you off as soon as I can get over to the bed where I left that gat. Hold it, Jeff. I'm coming now, you...
Thanks, Dallas. I guess that pistol whipping will keep him quiet for a while.
Oh, you killed him. You killed him.
Well, I'm afraid not, lady. He's just sleeping for a while. But you nearly took my finger off when you slammed that door on it.
Oh, we got taken your head off.
Oh, now that's no way to talk, sister, because it won't do you a bit of good. You're coming along to the station with us just the same.
Clark, still unconscious, is taken to the police station, where his bruises are dressed, and he is identified by Mark Robbins, identification expert of the Tucson Police Department. Shortly afterwards, motorcycle patrolman Earl Nolan picks up Pierpont as he's leaving a tourist camp. The stakeout is resumed on the 2nd Avenue house. In the early evening, just as the dusk is deepening into night, a car pulls up across the street from the house and a man gets out. Detective Heron is 5 steps behind Dillinger when the bandit stops in his tracks at the sight of blood, which had fallen on the porch steps when Clark was taken out. Heron steps up to him as Dillinger wheels around, hands in his coat pocket.
Put up your hands, Dillinger.
What is this? Stick up?
No, it's an arrest. Put him up. I'm pulling the trigger.
Race? What for? What's the charge?
Fugitive from justice will do for the time being. Walker, Mulaney, cover that dame in the car over there. No, you don't, Dillinger. Feel that in your ribs? Now, don't get fancy. I'll let you have it. Now, if you don't mind, I'll relieve you of your gun. Sure, man. One on either side. And now, if you'll lower your hand...
All right. Come on. Cut out the politeness. Put the braces on and let's get down to your lousy jail. I won't be there long anyway. There ain't a jail in this country strong enough to hold me.
By rail and by plane, officials rush to Tucson from Wisconsin, from Indiana, from Ohio. Each state eager to extradite the men for crimes in their territory. After days of legal complications, Dillinger is spirited away by plane to Crown Point, Indiana, to answer for the murder of the patrolman in the East Chicago holdup. A day later, the other 3 bandits leave by train for the east to face trial in Limo, Ohio, for the murder of Sheriff Tarver. Ohio Justice is swift. Harry Pierpont and Charles Maitri receive mandatory death sentences, and Clark is imprisoned for life for the murder of Sheriff Tarver in Lima. But in the Lake County Jail at Crown Point, Indiana, John Dillinger's mind is occupied with other matters than answering to the bar of justice. His strange activities arouse the curiosity of Herbert Youngblood, his Negro cellmate.
Hey, Mr. John, what you all been whittling away? You know, for a man what's got a murder rap waiting for, you all is the most unconcerned white man that I ever done see.
Well, Herb, I'll tell you. Maybe I'll keep it a secret.
Sure thing. I keep the secret good.
Well, you're sure better.
Sure I will. Now, what is it, sir?
This thing I'm whittling at is a key to the jailhouse.
A key to the jailhouse? Say, what you all talking about? Looks like a dumber gun to me.
We're both right, Herb. It's a dummin', and it's my ticket out of this hick jail.
What you all mean?
I mean that after I get this thing whittled with these razor blades, I blacken it with shoe polish. Stick the blades on this full chamber, and the guard will think it's a real gat.
Yeah, but that's an awful chance for you to take, Mr. Jones.
Better than the chair, ain't it?
Well, I suppose it is.
I'll only need it until I get the guns in the sheriff's office. Say, Herb, I might want a partner. How about it?
You all mean you won't take me with you?
Sure, if you got the guts.
Why, sure, I've got the guts, Mr. Jones.
Okay, Herb, now here's the idea. We wait until the guard brings us out, John.
Well, John, here's the bite of supper for you.
That's just swell, Turnkey. And now you can stick 'em up.
Shut up. Don't shoot.
Get in here, quick. Grab his gun, Herb.
I've got him, Mr. Jones.
Please don't shoot.
Okay, Turnkey. Now you stay here and keep your trap shut. Come on, Herb, let's go. Once more the cry goes up. Dillinger is loose.
But Dillinger eludes the dragnet that extends across 4 states. Officials declare that Dillinger will be shot on sight if he sticks his head inside Chicago. And the next day, Sheriff Holly's abandoned car is found on the Chicago side street. In the Lima, Ohio jail, Clark, Makeley, and Pierpont sit up all night, awaiting their delivery at the hands of their pal John. Earl Sarber, the murdered sheriff's son, strips them to their underwear, throws floodlights on the jail, and dares Dillinger to come and get his friend. In Fort Huron, Michigan, Herbert Youngblood is fatally wounded in a gun battle with the police. Before he dies, he admits that John has crossed the lake. The trail grows cold. And then in April, a tip comes that Dillinger is hiding out in the apartment of his sweetheart, half-Indian, Evelyn Frechette. Unaware that he's been spotted, Dillinger is enjoying a noontime breakfast with his girlfriend.
Oh, John, it's swell to have you here.
Yeah. Good to be here, Ev. I'm getting tired of jumping around like this all the time. I'd like to settle down. Draw breath without having to look around for bulls.
I know, honey. It's tough. I don't think they recognize you now you've got your hair dyed red. You look so different.
What do you mean, different? Don't you like me this way?
Oh, I'd even like you bald, John.
Yeah?
Sure, anyway.
That's swell. Come on, honey. Give me a kiss.
Will I?
Oh, babe, you got it. Hey, what's that?
What?
There's a guy on the stairs. Wait until I look out the window. The bull. Hey, what is it?
What do you mean, John?
If I thought you'd spill anything...
Oh, what do you take me for, John? A thing?
Okay, but if I ever find out you tipped me off...
honey, you ought to know better.
Okay. Now listen. I gotta get out of here. You hold him off the front way. I'll take this gun and shoot my way out the back. Goodbye, honey.
Oh, goodbye, John. Oh, be careful.
Sure.
Hey, better go down the steps.
And Dillinger once more eludes the law. His sweetheart, Evelyn Frechette, is arrested and sentenced to 2 years in prison for harboring a criminal. But Dillinger, wounded, escapes. Joined by John Hamilton, Tom Carroll, and Homer Van Meter, the new Dillinger gang descends on the Warsaw, Indiana police station in a midnight raid that furnishes them with bulletproof vests, guns, and plenty of ammunition. Then they retire to a hideaway on Spider Lake in northern Wisconsin, which Hamilton had already prepared for them. Here they lay their future plans.
Say, John, how about those 2 coppers in East Chicago? What 2 coppers?
O'Brien and Mulvihill. The 2 that was to identify you for that dump off of O'Malley.
Oh, yeah. Sort of bad having them run around alive.
Yeah. Well, we have to see what we can do about that. I'm going to take care of those smokes if we can.
What's that?
Sounded like a jet.
Put out all the lights in the joint. Grab your out and get out of quick.
With the lights in the lake resort suddenly off, the confused federal agents who had fired at the car which refused to halt plunged into the underbrush after the fleeing figures of the Dillinger mob. Willis Baum, one of the federal men, trails 3 of the fugitives to a neighboring house. As he approaches the building, he is met by a burst of machine gun bullets. And the life of another peace officer is added to the mounting toll of murder attributed to the Dillinger mob.
Attention all cars. Milwaukee police calling all cars. John Dillinger and several companions fought it out with federal officers at Spider Lake tonight and escaped. Thought to be headed toward Milwaukee. That is all. Calling all Cook County Sheriff's cars. Dillinger and several of his gang are reported traveling toward Chicago. Shoot to kill this time, boys. Detroit police calling all cars. Attention all cars. Be on the lookout for John Dillinger, reported bound for Detroit. Pick him up, boys.
But the slippery Dillinger gang evades the law again and leaves only a grisly memento of their passing on the outskirts of East Chicago. When the bullet-riddled bodies of Officers O'Brien and Mulvihill, the state's star witnesses against Dillinger, are discovered early on the morning of May 24th. This latest Dillinger crime sends Sergeant Martin Zarkovich of the East Chicago Police Force striding furiously into the office of his chief.
Yes, Sergeant, what is it? Chief, O'Malley was my partner. Yes, I know that, Sergeant. And O'Brien and Mulvihill were 2 of my best friends. Yes? Now they're all dead, bumped off by Dillinger. So we think? And I'm convinced that he did it, and I want to even things up. What do you propose? I propose to go after Dillinger myself. That's a pretty big job, Sergeant. I know it, Chief. But I want you to let me go about it my own way, and I know I can get that guy. All right, Martin. I believe in you. Go to it.
Sergeant Zarkovich disappears from sight. Becomes an habitué of northern Indiana and Chicago saloons. Keeps an alert ear open everywhere for news of Dillinger. Through the boasting conversation of a drunk who talks too much, Zarkovich learns of a woman, who shall here be nameless, who has reason to hate Dillinger as much as he does. He manages to make her acquaintance, and finally to gain her confidence.
Sure, I hate Don. Why shouldn't I hate him? Why, if he hadn't talked Tony into joining up with him, Tony'd be alive and in my arms right now.
Yeah, but I can't understand. You're seeing John all the time.
Sure I am. I see him. I kid him alone. And all the time I'm wanting to cut his throat.
Well, why don't you?
Because I guess I'm afraid of him. Those eyes of his. Well, they look at me and they seem to tell me that they'll haunt me forever if I do anything to him.
Maybe his eyes wouldn't haunt you, but some of his boys might.
Oh, I ain't afraid of myself. I don't care what happens to me.
Of course, there's another way to do it.
Yeah? How?
Well, the person that turns him over to the bulls gets 15 grand.
What do you think I am, a stool pigeon?
No, I didn't say that. I just pointed out that 15 grand side of it. Now, look at it this way. You hate him. You want him out of the way. Well, if you bump him off, they'll try you for murder. That is, if the boys don't get you first. But if you turn him in, you'll have the protection of the bulls and enough dough to travel for a long time.
Yeah, but that'd make me a stool pigeon.
Well, what of it? That guy ought to be out of the way. Everyone knows that. I'll tell you this. If I knew where he was, I'd turn him in.
Well, maybe you're right.
Sure, I'm right. And now I'll tell you. You give the dope to me, and I'll see that everything's handled so you'll be protected.
Department of Justice, Purvis speaking.
Hello, Chief. Look, this is hot, and it's straight. Dillinger is going to the Biograph Theater on the north side tonight to see Manhattan Melodrama.
You're sure of that?
Absolutely. He goes there almost every night.
Okay, and thanks.
Purvis, accompanied by a score of Department of Justice operatives, stake out the Biograph Theater early Sunday evening. Purvis and one of his aides sit in their car a few doors away from the theater. More than an hour passes uneventfully. And then, just before 9 o'clock...
Hey, Ed, there he is.
Where?
Walking up to the ticket office. I can't mistake that head.
Oh, I see. Now he's turning.
Yeah.
That's him, all right. Look, Mel. He's dyed his hair.
Yeah, it's black. And he's wearing gold-rimmed glasses.
But that's him.
Want to let him get into the theater?
Sure. We won't take any chances. There, he's bought his ticket and he's going in. Keep your eye on the exit, Ed. I'm going to give the boys the final orders.
Okay, Chief.
That was him, Rockerman.
I thought so.
Now, you and Mike stick around the doorway of the tavern here and keep your eye glued on that theater. Rand, you and Kelly watch those exits down the alley. He'll probably be in there a couple of hours, but he might get suspicious and try to get out the back door. And get this straight. No matter what he does, we're taking him tonight. Try to get him alive, but if you can't, get him dead.
Two torturous hours are spent by the officers surrounding the theater. 2 hours and 4 minutes. And then the doors of the theater swing wide, and the shirt-sleeved audience throngs out into the sweltering summer night. Dillinger saunters onto the sidewalk, accompanied, so some reports say, by a young woman clad in red. Purvis closes in behind him. As Dillinger crosses an alley, Purvis waves his hand. 5 officers close in. Suspicious, Dillinger reaches for his pocket.
John Dillinger died on the way to the hospital. The postmortem of rumors and sob-sister conjecture is now taking place. The king is dead, and already the public are crowning the new king. Already the crown of fame as public enemy number 1 rests on the head of babyface Nelson, a henchman of Dillinger's. Stripped of all of this dime novel romanticism, of this crime publicity, which is only possible in this publicity-conscious nation of ours, stripped of all of the glamour, John Dillinger was just a hoodlum, a cheap criminal, whose stupidity made him appear a daring outlaw. Melvin Purvis and his men, with the help of the police, did a great job in ridding the country of him. And I am confident that this is only the beginning, that with the splendid cooperation of federal, with state and municipal peace officers, the criminal killer and racketeer will be ground completely out of existence.
Thank you, Chief Davis. When you see a fire engine roaring down the street, sirens shrieking, or a police car cruising grimly along the highway, doesn't it give you a thrill? And doesn't it give you a feeling of security to know that this vigilance is kept up 24 hours per day for no other reason than to protect your life and property and the lives and property of your fellow citizens? For jobs like these, the equipment must be kept in perfect mechanical condition, and no motor is dependable without positive lubrication. Sinclair Oils have a national reputation as a dependable lubricant. The Army, with all its trucks, tractors, and passenger cars, depend on Sinclair Oil. The Navy annually renew its contracts with Sinclair for fine oils for its wide variety of equipment. 150 airlines, airports, and aircraft manufacturers make Sinclair Oils their standard. Now, ladies and gentlemen, you may have Sinclair Opaline, a premium motor oil in sealed cans at the low price of 25 cents per quart. The Army and the Navy depend on Sinclair lubrication. Is there a better guide for your judgment? By the way, Rio Grande has prepared for your information a complete list of forthcoming cases to be broadcast on Calling All Cars. Drive into your neighborhood Rio Grande service station tomorrow and ask for the Rio Grande radio log. It's free.
Chicago police calling all cars, attention all cars, cancellation broadcast 35. John Dillinger was shot a few minutes ago by federal men, and that's all.
Tonight's special broadcast of Calling All Cars was written and produced by William N. Robson. The orchestra was conducted by Frederick Starr.
and the following cast appeared. Mary Tuthill as Evelyn Frechette, Clarinita Burt as Opal Long, Martha Wentworth as the unnamed woman, Hanley Stafford as Dillinger, Richard LeGrand as Clark, Sam Pierce as Sergeant Krikovic, Lindsay McHarry as Purvis, Truman Ames as Pierpont and Chief of Police, Robert Frazier as Sherman, O'Malley and the Turnkey, Stuart Wilson as Makeley and Heron, and Charlie Lung as Ford, Youngblood, and Van Meter. Sound effects conceived and executed by Lloyd Creekmore. This is Frederick Lindsley saying good night for the Rio Grande Oil Company.
Delirious for 5 days, and showed no desire to get better. The thread of her soul had been drilled. She apparently did not care for her father's years. In the middle of the night on August 12th, she died of her feet. From the point of police procedure, the department did its work in eliminating falsely accused persons and, by means of fingerprints, discovered the actual criminal and obtained a confession. Whether Marie was doubly guilty in taking her own life after taking that of another is a problem for a higher judge than there is on earth to decide.
Los Angeles Police calling all cars, attention all cars. A robbery at the 5th Street department store. Safe blown by nitroglycerin. This may be the same mob wanted in Cambridge, Massachusetts, and San Francisco for other safe-cracking jobs. Pick up all suspicious characters. That's all. Rosenquist.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Rio Grande has set a new standard by which to judge gasoline value. No longer is it sufficient for you to demand the gasoline that delivers only better mileage, or merely quick starting, or just power. You should demand police car performance, which includes all these qualities and many more. Do you realize that a police car is required to give 7 times the dependable service that you demand from your own car? The average Los Angeles police car, for example, travels an average of 78,840 miles per year. What a test for gasoline. Cracked gasoline fulfills these rigid requirements. For in the great Southwest, it powers more police cars, fire engines, ambulances, and other equipment than all other brands combined. When you next buy gasoline, get police car performance for your car. And that means Rio Grande cracked with tetraethyl. It is usual at this time to present Chief James E. Davis of the Los Angeles Police Department. But unfortunately, Chief Davis has not been able to appear for the opening of this program. But we shall hear from him at the close of the program. We present the nitroglycerin Parsons. It is 1918, the year of the war. Across the nation spreads the hysteria of patriotism that sends farmer and mechanic, capitalist and worker, believer and unbeliever, swinging into olive drab, tramping down the main streets of the nation to the measure of a stirring march. In a little white church in San Diego, the Reverend Herbert Wilson also hears the distant strains of patriotic music, feels the call to serve his fellow men at the front. In a stirring farewell, He promises his parish that he will care for their boys in war as he has cared for them in peace. That night, accompanied by his brother Louis, the Reverend Wilson boards an eastbound limited. In the club car, Louis compliments his brother on his last appearance in the pulpit.
Well, Herb, you certainly made him weep in church today. You got a gift of gab, you have.
Yes, I suppose I have. And they all believe it.
Didn't you?
Did you?
Well, no, but then psalm singing isn't my line. I'm just the black sheep of the family.
Sometimes I envy you that way.
Why?
Being the black sheep of the family.
It's talking about Herb. What's got into you?
I don't know. I'm sure I don't. Look here. You don't suppose it's much fun being a minister, do you?
No, of course not. I'm not built that way, but a Bible pounder like you, why, that's your meat.
I wonder. Look here, Louis. You think I'm going to join up as a chaplain, don't you?
Oh, that's what you told the customers, wasn't it?
Yes, that's what I told the parish. But I'm not going to do it. I'm going to see some excitement and have some fun. I'm going to enlist in the infantry. I'm going to quit being a parson for a while, and I'm going to be just plain Herb Wilson. I'm sick of baptizing babies and praying over corpses, and I'm tired of shouting the word of God in the Holy Bible when I don't believe a word of it.
Herb! Do you know what you're saying? What's got into you?
I don't know, Louis. There is something wrong. I'm losing faith. I don't believe anymore. And, Louis, the strange thing is, it doesn't worry me a bit.
You mean that?
Yes, I'm sure I do.
And you want excitement?
Yes, Louis, yes.
And you want to be a black sheep?
Yes.
How would you like to do all that and make some money at the same time?
What do you mean?
Never mind what I mean, only we're stopping off at Toledo to see a friend of mine. Harris, I want you to meet my brother Herb.
Glad to know you, Herb. Thanks, and I'm glad to make your acquaintance, Mr. Harris.
You know, Herb, Harris here is one of the best Petermen in the country.
Petermen? What's a Peterman?
Oh, that's a hot one. Louis Wilson's brother doesn't know what a Peterman is.
Well, you see, Harris, Herb's a preacher.
Oh, a preacher?
Yeah, but he's sick of it. He told me he wants some excitement, and I figured that he'd get more of it traveling with us than he would going to war.
Yeah, but, Louis, you haven't told me yet what a Peterman is.
Well, Herb, a Peterman is a safecracker.
A safecracker? Louis, you don't mean to tell me that
Well, Herb, you can't really clean up making an honest living these days.
Yes, I know, but a common burglar. My own brother.
Oh, don't take it so hard, Herb. It's more fun and pays better than peddling a gospel.
Well, I don't know what to say. I'm shocked. Shocked beyond words.
Well, you don't need to say anything. Just listen to me. In a couple more years, I'll have $1 million. I'll be able to retire from this business and settle down. Would you ever make $1 million in the religion business?
$1 million. $1 million.
His brother and Harris draw an enticing picture of the life of a cracksman. And eventually, Herb is convinced that a career of crime has manifold advantages. After much discussion, Herb is won over.
Well, it sounds like good business to me.
Well, it is.
How about it, Herb? You want to join up with us?
Yes, I think I do. But first, I want to go into this thing thoroughly. Now, you say that you crack these safes with soup, or rather, nitroglycerin.
Yeah, that's right.
An explosive powerful enough to blow a safe must make some noise, doesn't it?
Sure.
Well, that ought to be eliminated.
Eliminated? How the devil could you take the bang out of nitroglycerin?
I don't know, but you boys should if you work with it.
What are you getting at? We use the stuff the way it comes.
Well, then you aren't doing a thorough job.
Well, we ain't doing so bad.
Maybe not. But I believe in knowing all about my tools before I use them. Now, take acetylene torches, for instance.
What's the best type?
I don't know anything about types. When I want to cut through a safe, I use a torch, that's all.
Well, before I go into this business, I'm going to find out these things.
Who's going to teach you?
I don't know, but I'm going to find out. With the application that made him a brilliant preacher, Herb Wilson sets out to be a brilliant criminal. He attends an industrial school in Detroit and takes a course in the operation of acetylene torches. He works in a safe factory in Ohio, acquainting himself with all the details of the construction of strong boxes. And then, to complete his education, he travels to Washington and spends days in the Bureau of Standards, studying the chemistry of high explosives and inspecting burglar alarms. His self-conferred degree in safecracking earned, he returns to Detroit and summons his brother, Harris, Joe Birchke, and Herbert Cox to his apartment.
Boys, I told you I'd go and I'd find out all I could about this business of breaking boxes. Well, I have. I've studied every type of safe made in the United States. I know how to put any burglar alarm that buzzes out of commission. And I've worked out a formula for a new nitroglycerin that just pushes safe doors out without making any explosion at all. And I've got the finest acetylene torch there is, made especially for me. And now I'm ready to begin work. How about it? You boys want to work with me?
Sure. Yeah, by golly, that sounds good to me.
That's fine. But there's one condition, though.
Huh? What's that, Work?
I'm the boss. You take your orders from me. Is that understood?
Yeah, sure.
Sure, that's okay.
All right, then. I've got a swell mark picked out. We're going to break into the headquarters of Kroger Brothers, the big chain grocers.
Kroger Brothers? Well, you must be crazy, Herb.
Why, that place is absolutely bulletproof.
Yeah?
Yeah, sure, Herb. It's foolish to tackle such a big job at first.
Well, I see you boys aren't interested.
Oh, no, it's not.
No, it's just a ticket to the pen.
But they're picking too big a job.
I said that I'm giving the orders. Now, if there's any argument, I can get myself another bunch of men just as good as you fellows.
I don't get sore, Herb.
Oh, we'll play ball with you.
Well, that's better. Now, here's the reason that we're going to pull a big job for a starter. As a rule, the big ones are not so well guarded. Why, Kroger's has only 2 watchmen inside and a man patrolling the street outside.
Well, it's an awful risk, Herb.
Of course it's a risk, but it's worth it to get a big haul, isn't it? Kroger's safe has a reputation for being burglar-proof. Well, let me tell you this. There isn't a safe made that's burglar-proof. And just you wait and see what I do with that box Thursday night.
On Thursday night, a big Packard sedan creeps through the shadows of the alley behind Kroger's store. It stops beside a manhole, and several men get out of it.
Here. Hoist this manhole cover. This is our entrance to the place. Okay, give me that flashlight. I'll go in first.
Say, Herb, you sure you want me to lug this screen along?
Yes, sir. We're going to need that. Come on, let's get in the place.
Golly, it's dark in here.
Wait a minute now. Don't worry. You follow me and you won't trip over anything.
You know where you're going, Herb?
Do I know where I'm going? Of course I do.
Well, where are we now?
Well, we're in the basement of the building. Quiet now. One of the watchmen is due to come by here in a minute.
Here he comes now.
Pick him up and make it fast.
Quiet.
Frisk him, Louis.
Yeah. Here's his keys. Flashlight. And here's his gas.
Good. Now, Louis, you keep your gun on him. And Cox, he looks about your size. You strip him and put on his uniform, and then you keep making his rounds and punching the clocks so they won't get wise that anything's wrong. Okay. Come on, Joe. We're going to get to that safe. You take that screen.
Well, I'll meet you when I'm through here.
The office is at the head of these stairs. Come up there.
Okay.
Well, here we are, Joe.
My golly. How you going to walk on that box? Anyone can see right in through the windows.
Well, now, just you watch. Here, hand me that screen. First, we got to unroll it. That's good. There. Now, we fasten these supports at either end. Here we are. And then we set it up. There, how's that?
A picture of a safe.
That's right. Anyone looking into this dark room from the outside will think it's the real safe. And all the time, we'll be working behind it.
Pretty smart, Herb.
Well, I try to think of everything. Now, you get busy and short those burglar alarms while I'm laying out my stuff. This burglar-proof box is going to be a cinch.
While Wilson worked swiftly and surely upon the safe, Louis and Cox holed up and trussed the other watchman. And then Cox, in the watchman's uniform, continues the rounds where the unfortunate guard had left off. All the time clocks punched, Cox joins his companions in the office. Wilson has filled the crack around the door of the safe with soft soap, making the safe perfectly airtight. Then in a hole in the soap at the top of the door, he carefully pours nitroglycerin from a syringe. A detonating cap is placed at the bottom of the soap crack, and positive and negative wires are run from it across the room to a small flashlight battery. At last, all is in readiness.
Okay, boys. Watch yourself. Here she goes.
Hey, Herb, wait a minute.
What's the matter?
That watchman on the outside coming his way.
Hey, we can't let him see us. Quick, Cox, you've got that uniform on. Do something. Get out there. Let him see you. He's coming closer to the window. Wave to him, Cox. Wave to him. And don't get in the light from that street lamp. He's digging back. He's walking on. Hey. Boy, that was a close shave.
Don't ever tell me to do anything like that again. I thought I'd die of heart failure when that bird came over to the window.
Well, we're okay now. Wait a minute. I need a shot of this nitroglycerin.
Hey, you're not taking a drink of that stuff, are you?
You bet I am. It's a great stimulant, and I need it. There, that's good. Well, that watchman won't be around this way for a half an hour. And we'll be out of here by that time. Now, hang on, boys. She's going this time. All set?
Sure. Go ahead.
Okay. She is swinging on the hinge.
And hardly made a sound. Herb, I gotta take my hat off to you.
Come on. Let's see what's in it. Wait till I get that inside door open. Well, there you are, boys.
Gee, must be $100 grand in there. Not bad. Not bad. Yeah, but there's a lot of Liberty bonds.
Yeah? Well, what can we get for them?
Only about 10% of their face value. Even so, we got a nice piece of change here for one night's work. Well, how about it, Herb? Doesn't this beat sky piloting?
It sure does, Louis.
His technique have proved success after the Kroger job. Wilson goes on an orgy of safe cracking, culminating a week later when he and the mob break open 9 safes in one Detroit office building on the same night. The police are frantic, and while they fume, Wilson and his pals laugh in their apartment hideaway.
Say, boys, this is the funniest thing in a month of Sundays.
What's that, Herb?
Why, this newspaper story. Listen, just get a load of this. The largest police dragnet in the history of the city of Detroit was ordered today by the chief of police following the crime wave in the Stratton building last night, when 9 safes were broken open and cash and securities valued at hundreds of thousands of dollars were stolen. The police are arresting all robbery suspects and rounding up all suspicious characters in an effort to apprehend the criminals.
Lot of good that'll do 'em, rounding up suspects.
Right, because we aren't suspects. I wouldn't have anyone working with me that has a police record.
You sure take more care than any Peter man I ever saw.
You're right, I do, and it pays, doesn't it? Why, the way we work without leaving the slightest clue, not even a fingerprint say, we'll be on Easy Street and out of the business before anyone knows we're in it.
Yeah, but we can't be retiring this minute, and we're always taking a chance, you know.
Yeah, that's right. But, boys, I've got a job plan that'll get us out of this business forever.
Yeah? Yeah, what is it, Herb?
Well, there's a fortune in the safe of the Maccabees' national headquarters in this town.
The Maccabees? Oh, you're crazy, Herb. Nobody can break that box.
Yeah, that's what you think.
Why, there isn't a Peterman in the country that would even try it.
You're wrong there, Cox. Here's one.
An awful chance.
Not so awful as you think. I'm going to take plenty of time on the build-up, and when everything's set, we'll just walk in there and break that box.
But, Herb, that safe built like a battleship.
Yeah? And there isn't an armor plate made that my acetylene torch won't cut through.
Oh, gonna use a torch on it.
Yes, sir. We're going to do this right. It'll take time, but it's worth it. And it'll be our last job.
Our last job? What do you mean, Herb?
Well, we can all retire afterwards.
Yeah? How come?
How come? Because there's $13 million in that safe.
Long weeks of preparation are spent on the Maccabee job. One of the gang makes friends with the night watchman at the organization's headquarters and learns from him the details of the layout. Plans are made down to the last detail for the destruction of burglar alarms, and dollars are obtained on which to transport the acetylene tanks into the office. Finally, on a Saturday night, everything is in readiness. One by one, the guards are overpowered and locked up in closets. One by one, the 13 burglar alarm boxes are put out of commission. Then, all precautions taken, Wilson unwraps his equipment. The gas tank is wheeled in, and donning an asbestos apron of his own invention, the nitroglycerin parson lights his torch and sets to work on the massive safe. Like a knife through cheese, the hissing blue flame of the torch cuts through the thick steel box. Deeper, deeper as the hours of the night wheel on. Closer, closer to a tremendous fortune. The members of the gang crouch around the leader, watching with eyes gleaming with avarice as the hooded figure of the monster cracks and bends over his work. Finally, toward dawn, Wilson raises his hooded head.
Well, only another quarter of an inch to go, boys.
Now, hurry up, Puff. It's getting late.
Well, it's just a matter of a few seconds, and then...
$13 million.
Yes, sir. Hey, what's this?
What's this loose?
I don't know. Where did I get this mask for? Wait a minute.
I want to take a look at that tank. Well, that's that, boys. We're out of gas.
Out of gas? But a quarter of an inch away from $13 million.
Quiet. Well, that's the way it stands.
Well, what are we going to do?
Well, what can we do? We can't get gas any place at 3 a.m. on Sunday morning.
You could use nitro on it.
Yeah, if we had any.
Oh, that's right. We didn't bring any with us.
Well, it won't do any good crying about it. We've got to take it on the lam right now, boys. Come on.
In the whole of Wilson's career of crime, during which he stole more than $15 million from scores of safes and mail bags, this is the only failure. Disgusted, he goes to New York, and through a friend who is an intimate of social registrarites, he steals a fortune in jewels from the Fifth Avenue home of Mrs. Charlotte Palmer. In Cambridge, Massachusetts, he blows the safe of Harvard University, after having obtained the layout by posing as a student. Starting west once more, he meets a group of foreigners who are interested in buying some of his nitroglycerin. After tests which convince them that it's the most powerful explosive obtainable, they purchase 30 quarts, explaining that they wanted to blow up some rival vineyards. Wilson never knows until after his arrest that this nitroglycerin of his own manufacture was the explosive used in the Wall Street bombing in 1920 that cost the lives of 39 men and women. Wilson is spending a few days in Detroit in December 1920 when he receives a wire from his confederates that there is a soft mark in San Francisco. He loses no time in boarding a westbound train, and a few days later he's going over details with his men. The mark is Hale Brothers Department Store. Already the gang has planted a girl confederate at the hosiery counter of the store. And already one of their number, posing as a census taker, has gained the confidence of the night watchman and learned the details of the burglar alarm system. On the night of December the 5th, Wilson and his gang force their way into the place, and quickly subduing the guards, they dash up to the cashier's office on the 4th floor. Wilson goes to work on the safe, and soon the huge door swings open under the persuasive power of his special nitroglycerin. There remains only a steel partition within the safe that must be drilled with Wilson's motor drill. Herb steps inside the safe to finish the job.
Herb, look out. What's the matter?
That wire mat in front of the door. Looks like an alarm to me.
That was a close one. Let me see. Yeah, I guess you're right, Cox. You better go ahead and short it out, and I'll connect up the motor while you're at it.
Okay. There's a light socket up there over your head.
Where? Oh, yes, I see. I'll just unscrew this bulb here and plug in the motor, then we're all set.
Yeah, this one's simple.
Well, have you got it right?
Sure thing. You can go ahead now.
It won't be long.
And it wasn't long. The loot from the Hale Brothers Department Store in San Francisco amounted to $100,000. Gleefully, the mob leaves San Francisco by different trains, and a few days later joined their chief in Los Angeles, where the loot is divided. Wilson and the gang settle down in Los Angeles, and Wilson buys several apartment houses and homes. His legitimate income from his investments is nearly $4,000 a month, and in safe deposit boxes from coast to coast, he has nearly $1 million in cash. But the lure of excitement is always with him. He cannot retire from his career of safe cracking. So it is that when seated in a dentist's chair one day and seeing a safe directly across the street in the 5th Street department store, he cannot overlook the possibility of cracking. After visiting the cashier's office in the store on a fake errand, he calls Cox and tells him about it. And that evening, he and Louis Wilson and Cox are discussing the layout at their Manhattan Beach hideaway when Cox's little son runs into the house.
Now, boys, it's an old box, and it'll be a cinch to break. Now, you enter from the alley, and here on the diagram is the...
Look what I found.
We're busy now, Jimmy. You'd better show it to your mother.
But look, Danny, we're going to greet policeman.
What's that? Yeah. What have you got there?
A swell star. Look.
A deputy sheriff's badge. Where did you get it?
I found it on the beach.
On the beach, eh? Well, you better go on out and play, son.
Let me have the badge, Danny.
Not now, Jimmy. I'll give it to you later. I want to look at it.
Oh, hey.
Here, Jimmy, here's a dime. Go on out and get yourself some ice cream.
Oh, okay, Dan. Then can I play with the badge after?
Yes, Jimmy, after. Go on now, beat it.
All right, Dad. So long.
You suppose this has been planted on us, Herb?
No, I don't think so. It looks okay to me.
If you ask me, it's a swell break. We can use it on this next job.
The deputy sheriff's badge does come in handy when the Wilson gang blows up the safe in the 5th Street department store. But the master criminal seems to be slipping. At least he's getting careless, for he drops the badge at the scene of the crime. Through this clue, a police investigation starts, which takes months, during which Wilson has taken to robbing the mail. But an investigation that through Cox's son, who had found the badge, leads to Cox himself, and from Cox's confession to Wilson. It is early morning, 2 days before Christmas in 1921. The peaceful sleep of Mrs. Wilson, faithful, innocent, unsuspecting wife of the arch criminal, is disturbed. She raises on her elbow, shakes her husband.
Herbert.
What's the matter, dear?
Herbert, I heard someone downstairs.
Oh, you're hearing things, my dear.
No, I'm sure. Listen.
You're right. There is someone down there. Where's that gun of mine?
There in the drawer. Oh, be careful, Herbert, please.
Of course, my dear. Who's there?
Come on down, you. I want to have a little talk with you.
Who is it? What do you want?
Come on, make it snappy.
Stay up there, Sarah. Stay up there.
No, I'm going to see what they want.
Turn on the light, Joe. Drop that gun, Wilson.
Say, what is this?
You're under arrest by the United States government.
Why, my husband under arrest. What for?
We'll talk about that later, ma'am. Now drop that gun, Wilson.
Why, certainly. I just have it as protection against burglars.
Oh, yeah? Well, hand it over.
Certainly. There you are. And now may I ask the purpose of this uninvited visit?
This is not a social call. I've already told you you're under arrest.
Well, there must be some mistake. My husband is a retired clergyman.
Maybe that's what you think, ma'am. But that isn't all he is. We didn't come to arrest the Reverend Herbert Wilson, retired clergyman. We are here to get Herb Wilson, mail robber.
Mail robber? Herbert, what are you talking about?
Sarah, no, you and I better take a look through the second floor. Say, Wilson, where do you keep your soup?
Soup? Why, if there's any in the house, it must be in the pantry. Why? Are you hungry? Sarah, get the gentleman some soup.
Come on, Wilson. That's a bum joke. That soup of yours killed 39 people in that Wall Street bombing last year.
Now, I assure you there's some mistake.
No mistakes on our part, Wilson. You're the one that made the mistakes. Mistake number one was when you left your fingerprint on that light bulb in the Hale Brothers department store holdup last December. Mistake number two was when you dropped that deputy sheriff's badge while you were holding up the 5th Street department store. And mistake number three was working with a pal like Cox, who just squealed on you.
So he squealed, that dirty son.
Oh, I can't believe it. In all these years, I never knew. I believed all that you told me about the investment. In all these years, I've been living with a thief.
I didn't want you to know, Sarah. I was going to go straight honestly, I was. I just wanted to provide for you, dear.
Thief. My husband. Nothing but a common thief.
Not a common thief, ma'am. A mighty clever one. He's the best in the business. Or rather, he was the best in the business.
Wilson was a hard prisoner to handle. He plotted one jailbreak in which his partner Cox was killed. Then he planned another, which was successful, but which resulted in liberty for him only overnight. Finally, he was tried and sent to San Quentin for life. 6 times after his incarceration in the state penitentiary, he was taken out to testify for the state against one-time members of his gang, with the result that every one of his confederates are either now serving time or have met violent death. 10,000 grades. The temperature gauge creeps up and up. Look out. That may mean a huge repair bill. But you can avoid this grease by perfect lubrication. You can buy oil for a few cents, but it will be of little value to your motor. You should use a motor oil that is both de-waxed and de-jellied. Such an oil is Sinclair Opaline. Why gamble with ordinary bulk oils when you can buy a Sinclair Opaline for only 25 cents a quart, sold only in extra measure tamper-proof cans sealed at the refinery? You'll find it low-cost insurance of your motor safety. The new radio log for August is now available, containing a complete list of forthcoming cases to be broadcast on Calling All Cars and another Rio Grande radio program. Drive into your neighborhood Rio Grande service station tomorrow and ask for the August radio log. It's free.
Los Angeles Police calling all cars. Attention all cars. Cancellation broadcast 36 regarding a safe cracking. Suspects in this case now in custody. That's all. Rosenquist.
Ladies and gentlemen, we regret very much that Chief Davis was unable to appear tonight on this program. But he will be with us next week at this time. Calling All Cars is based on confidential police files and is written and produced by William N. Robson. The orchestra is under the direction of Frederick Stark. And this is Frederick Lindsley saying good night for the Rio Grande Oil Company.